Barcelona, Spain. Sometimes you discover that sweet spot anytime a car plus the road or track you are experiencing it on can be a perfect match. Everything flows so you seem smoother, cleaner, and much more precise as being a driver than ever, your vehicle dancing in your tune with no heartbeat's delay. Back in October of 2015, I was in this sweet spot with all the McLaren 570s about the Portimao race circuit in Portugal along with the roads nearby. Something clicked on that day and it had been unforgettable. So surely, then, the modern McLaren 570s Spider on sun-baked roads that sweep and roll over Montserrat near Barcelona is really a foregone conclusion? It's destined to be epic, right? Nevertheless, I felt it turned out my duty as being a journalist to become absolutely sure, and duly accepted the editor's invitation to find out if a 570s which consists of roof removed might be as good used as it sounds theoretically. There would be no track element this time along with the local police were, by all accounts, a bit trigger satisfied with their radar equipment. However, the 250-mile route over some incredible and varied roads should still reveal all you should know about this enticing, almost mouth-watering proposition. First, a certain amount of context. The Spider is defined to become McLaren's biggest volume seller. It joins the brand's Sports Series range alongside the aforementioned 570s along with the slightly softer plus much more capacious 570 GT. It's also, just like McLaren's, naturally predisposed to make for a hell of any convertible mainly because of its carbon fiber chassis, dubbed Monocell 2. So stiff is this fact central structure how the Spider has zero additional chassis bracing and also the steering, suspension, and electronics tune is practically exactly the same because the coupe's changes are restricted to a few tweaks towards the damper programming as outlined by Ben Gulliver, McLaren's head of vehicle development. So the bald numbers go in this way, $208,800 reduced of $20,200 on the coupe. 3,302 pounds up just 101 pounds with fluids and 90% fuel load, 562 horsepower at 7,500 revolutions per minute and 443 lb-ft at 5,006, 500 revolutions per minute, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.1 seconds. Plus a top speed of 204 miles per hour while using roof up or 196 miles per hour with all the retractable hardtop stowed away. In case you're wondering, that 60 miles per hour time is identical to your coupe and also the Spider is simply on e-10th slower in the 0124 miles per hour 200 kph European yardstick at 9.6 seconds. In performance terms then, it provides almost nothing on the coupe and dynamically it ought to be virtually identical, too. Perhaps the bigger question for you is whether the 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V8 will feel more characterful without having a carbon fiber barrier between driver and induction and exhaust. For the slow crawl through Barcelona, the toe-piece roof remains set up and I remind myself what I like concerning the 570s Awachi. The simple, elegant cabin architecture is just as appealing now as it absolutely was back in late 2015, nevertheless the quality has gotten a huge discovery. The ride, in spite of the cheaper solution of conventional springs, dampers, and anti-roll bars to the Sports Series cars as opposed for the hydraulically linked proactive chassis management of the 720s, can also be beautifully resolved. It will patter over really broken surfaces but it really rarely jars and it has a lovely polish to your way it rounds off of the worst bumps and lumps. The suspension settings between normal and sport modes are pretty close and within the smoother roads we'll find later, even track mode is perfectly usable. Whichever setting you end up picking though, you are feeling connected for the surface but it really is not dictating your vehicle's behavior. Another highlight felt even at just walking pace may be the steering, McLaren is constantly on the resist electronic power assist steering systems, as well as its faith in hydraulically assisted racks is totally justified within the Spider. It positively sings with feedback, and also the weighting and response feel so natural. It also helps this car to connect with all the driver immediately, which unfortunately marks the Spider out as a great gift. A sports or supercar should engage from the moment the wheels roll, and McLaren generally seems to really realize that, with Metropolis slowly receding inside the rear-view mirror, it's time and energy to lose the cover and get nearer to that 3.8-liter V8. The two composite panels stow away in 15 seconds at speeds as high as 25 miles per hour, as well as the glass wind deflector drops to 75% of the company's full height. With the windows in, the wind swirls slightly, but it's perfectly pleasant even at bullish worrying speeds. And the noise? There's lots of it with his sports exhaust-equipped car, a $4,090 option. The deep, frenzied blast of hot gases mirrors the simply phenomenal concentration of the acceleration. It's not really a beautiful sound. Even so, since the V8's angry voice reflects and bounces, it weighs up rock faces, since the twin-clutch 7-speed gearbox punches and shifts that has a wicked ignition crack, you realize the 570S Spider is a fairly serious supercar. Yes, I said supercar. McLaren would rather assert that this sports series cars are mere sports cars. Nevertheless, the speed, agility, while keeping your focus of the Spider, feels pretty damn super. You really do glance at the benefits of the company's lean carbon fiber physique as compared to rivals such as the R8, as it changes direction so cleanly, rides basic poise, and fires across the straights that has a real ferocity in case you wring the engine out. But what's especially impressive is the fact there's a delicacy to everything it can do. Something being a 911 Turbo S spatters a road into submission and makes progress inside a series of frantic lunges. By comparison, the 570S Spider glides. That almost balletic approach enables you to want being smoother, neater, and much better, too. The pedals are perfectly placed to rehearse left-foot braking. When you try, you see that what felt like slightly too long of your pedal travel with the right foot suddenly feels perfect. I love that you could unpeel layers with the 570S Spider's character and skills over time this way. It's among those cars you understand you'd be learning interesting things about for months, maybe a considerably long time. My only problem together with the 570S Spider is always that there's a little mismatch involving the magic from the chassis and also the response on the twin-turbocharged V8. You want to pour the vehicle down a road, having its agility, mid-corner stability, and carrying speed. So your instinct is always to stay inside a higher gear and let the auto take this train. However, when you do, the Spider's balance disappears on corner exit. You expect instant throttle response. Another control is virtually telepathic, but don't get it because the power will come in relatively slowly. The rear can't help but steer your vehicle, and instead the nose pushes wide. Try a gear lower, plus the problem remains. You've nailed the corner entry because of those lovely carbon ceramics, turned the automobile in, and felt the grip levels intimately because of that feelsome steering. At this point the Spider is balanced, right through to its toe. You find the road straightening and even pop out into it like a champagne cork, however you pin the throttle instead of much happens. Then, the half second after you'd wanted it, the power will come in hard, however the corner is over and you also feel as you only reached enjoy one half of it. Okay, maybe a straight lower gear? Yep, that works well. There's still some waiting for your turbos to essentially start working hard, but this time you can use the chassis balance and feel how well calibrated the dynamic mode for that escape systems is. It enables you to push right on the edge but subtly manipulates the spine back into line when you overcommit. Even so, there's something slightly beyond kilter here. The handling allows you to get smooth, measured, and accurate. Even so, the engine demands you beast it to truly maximize the automobile's inherent poise. I keep daydreaming about how precisely special a 570S Spider fitted with the Audi R8 Plus engine could possibly be. Of course, that's never going to happen. So back the down-to-earth well, for many people, if you ever take a 911 Turbo S Cabriolet, R8 V10 Spider or McLaren 570S Spider? I think the McLaren wins. And by an attractive decent margin. 2018 McLaren 570S Spider specifications. Price: $208,800 base. Engine: 3.8 liters twin-turbo 32-valve V8 562 HP at 7,500 revolutions per minute, 443 lb-ft at 5,006, 500 revolutions per minute. Transmission: 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. Layout: 2-door, 2-passenger, mid-engine, RWD convertible. EPA mileage: 1,623 miles per gallon city hui. LXWXH: 178.3 by 85.5 by 47.3 inches, wheelbase 105.0 inches, weight 3,302 pounds, 060 miles per hour, 3.1 seconds, top speed 204 miles per hour.